calling this meeting to order. Start with the previous meeting minutes.
I so moved to pass the minutes.
Second.
All right, and we're all present, so we don't have to do a voice vote. We don't have to do a roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
We can't discuss them. No.
We can discuss them if you like.
You can say, so I don't think there'd be a lot of discussion.
The treasurer's report,
Nothing to report.
nothing to report. We all received the planner's report. Anyone have a comment or question for Mike or anything you want to add?
I don't have any
You
additional.
want to add the two things that the letter that Paul sent and the safe harbors?
Oh, the email that Paul just sent
Yeah.
around. Oh, okay, yeah.
And the safe harbors.
Oh, I thought that. come
Our former esteemed planning board member, Paul Carey, emailed that there was a new piece of legislation that had passed. That was basically amongst a slew of other things in it. There was another permit extension act for permits granted between January 1, 2021 and December 31, 2023.
So only those 2 years?
Yeah, I believe so. And so Governor's Landing fell within that, so they got a 2-year extension on their special permit that was granted. So anything that was granted through this board or the zoning board, as far as special permits, those are extended through that act for 2 years, to 20, they now expire in 25. Those would expire.
I'm glad you explained it because I thought it was here on in all of them.
Oh, no, yeah, it was just that tolling period is what they said in the act. And then Kathy had inquired about safe harbor status, and I had completely forgotten about it after I submitted for it through the state, but and the state responded almost exactly a month ago saying that we are in state safe harbor status now. So they approved safe harbor status about a month ago. I completely missed the email. Because it came in November 9th and nothing else was going on around that time.
Really?
So, yeah. But yeah, we are now in a safe harbor status for 2 years from, I believe, that date. But I'll
A year,
double check
11
that.
months.
Yeah.
One question. Are you going to incorporate where 5G could go in that downtownscape plan? Could you look at where
Oh,
if
sure.
it came through, where
Yeah.
we would locate the 5Gs?
Yeah, talking about the sort of the plan that we're gonna be entering in.
You're looking for a bid on, you're looking at engineering. on
Yep.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
that makes
No,
sense to
yeah.
Incorporate those.
I'll mention that to Joe.
Good point.
Yes.
Especially if you bury all the utilities and you just have decorative.
Yeah.
Lighting.
If we could identify where they go first and make it make sense, we could eliminate a lot of
Yeah.
black with.
I somehow think that it's gonna be way too expensive to bury all the utilities, given that Hopkinton didn't do it when they tore up Main Street and they set these poles, but
Yeah,
I mean, it would, that would have been the time to do it.
This is West Upton Center, the plan they're doing? West Upton?
Or up in Sutton right here, I think.
Oh, I thought they were doing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, they're working on the West Upton.
Well, they are doing something on West, I think they're also doing in general,
Yeah,
another one, gardens.
very, but I
We did set aside some money for like estimating, or determining, or figuring out.
yeah, I remember, yeah,
What it would cost to bury it.
right.
That was-
But I mean, Hopkinton had their entire Main Street ripped up
yeah.
and they didn't do it.
But some must have had a very discrete, small section.
Yeah,
Then it might, I mean, Hopkinton did that whole.
Because Millbury did it.
did they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Comes out very attractive.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah, it's much nicer, like
Yeah, it really adds to the.
Concord.
If you want to make it a true hub that people want to flock to, basically. Kind of draws them in.
I think the added difficulty is because of state jurisdiction too, so that might be
Mhm.
why Hopkinton didn't do it.
It's a state road.
Millbury did it because where they did it was not state road. It is all locally owned road.
But the
I don't
state
know
wouldn't
that that's-
prohibit it, would it?
No, I mean,
Might not.
like with anything else, you gotta, it's
Layer of-
another
Yeah.
degree of difficulty to line things up.
National Grid of the state?
County the
Seeing the
same.
problem.
Yeah.
No, things don't seem to fly through those two.
Maybe we could bring in the Army Corps of Engineers. All right, so, moving on, A and R plans, it doesn't look like we have anything. Public hearing was closed on October 22nd, 2024, for 169 South Street, a definitive subdivision, applicant Rick Morel, Morel Construction, proposing conventional subdivision, and so the hearing is closed, and our goal tonight, I think, is to vote on the decision.
Did you write a draft, Mike?
Yeah, there is a draft decision in your packet. I had both the applicant's engineer look at the draft as well as our engineer, Joe Lozano, take a look. So I incorporated a lot of those changes. Joe from DGT emailed me today with just a couple additions he would like to make to it. A lot of it is just within the waivers that have been discussed. In that section, there's throughout the rules and regulations, there are just other sections that, like, I think, for instance, like, I think Joe was saying, was it street trees or poles? I forget which one, but that shows up in a number of different locations throughout the rules and regulations. I'm just calling out those
Extra places
yeah.
where they show up.
extra places within the waivers. So those will be provided for in a draft that is.
Well, before we get that far, if I may, it says, and showing 5 proposed lots. We are not getting 5 lots. We're getting 4 lots in a parcel.
But
Oh, okay.
We're not approving 5 lots. We're approving, there's no house lot. It should be construed by us to have a house to be built on it. We're
Yep.
okay for a house to be built on it. He only has 4 house lots and a parcel to be the site plan later on. Wouldn't even be subdivision control. It would be site plan, wouldn't it? Might
Maybe a special permit?
Special
Yeah,
permit.
it would Be a site plan.
Which
It'd
is-
Be a special, subdivision.
Mhm.
So for subdivision control, definitive plan, it's 4 lots.
All right, making that change now. Thank you.
Yep.
There were just a couple of carryover conditions, like obviously this was taken from a previous certificate of approval. Roadways, including temporary cul-de-sacs, would be up to the town standards during construction of subdivision. Roadways, including temporary cul-de-sacs, will be passable to emergency vehicles during construction of subdivision. Repairs shall be made to existing town roads damaged by construction acceptable to the town's DPW director in his reasonable discretion.
Just a couple more just stupid things, since you're gonna have to be making a change anyway.
I wish she does this.
9 is, no, I mean, if,
I bet you're good at
Oh,
it.
yeah, 9 and 10 are,
Yeah,
oh,
9
9
and
and
10.
10 are kind of blank.
and then you have.
I don't know, I had updated, yeah.
And then 11, section 9, it's like 25 feet of the intersection.
I'm sorry, what,
There's 3 E's in the word feet.
but, oh, yeah.
Feet. I'm just gonna keep
It's not
saying
what's-
that over and over.
What's wild is that it's not like underlined in red in Word, so it's not called out. It's, I must have accidentally added that. to
I think
the-
it's actually.
Probably because there's a hyphen, the 25 hyphen
Oh.
feet, it probably was like, oh, it's supposed to be, but not my problem.
Heavily reliant on.
And 12 is, actually 12, they just are, the lines are wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the blank 9 and 10s, because I started to incorporate the changes that Joe had emailed me this afternoon, but I haven't.
I haven't done it,
Yeah,
okay.
Now,
I'm gonna add those two, yeah.
if I may, the process is typically that we do this and we don't release lots until they're 80% complete. I think it says 80% or to the point of laying the binder. And that's when they get the release of the lots.
Yeah.
Should we put in here, lot releases conditioned upon
You
that?
want to put that in as
Sure.
number 4, subject to the following conditions, number 4, lot releases,
Because this,
conditioned upon,
because they go through all of this, but then they don't know how to get a lot released or what they have to finish to get a lot released. At least the binder down.
does that make sense to you all? Will lot releases when the binder is down?
What's your opinion on that, Joe?
I-
Yeah,
I mean, I think in my experience, once the binder's down, you can actually get a certificate of occupancy. I think it would be preferable if we could at least start a building, construction while, a gravel layer, suitable for emergency access. Otherwise, if you do, it's just you're not gonna be able to start the houses until you're basically done the road, whereas, you kind of want to do some of the state stuff together.
You can't do the houses until you have a way in there that's solid enough for large trucks, so there has to be a binder coat, but I don't think we've ever released a lot without at least a binder coat, and it's only 80%. We could require 100%. We could ask
Okay.
for everything.
Yeah,
80%.
if that's typically what Upton does, then yep, then we should do that. I've just had different experiences in different town is all.
Well, I think it's in our bylaws, so I wasn't sure whether we should put it in an agreement or just refer to the section in there that says that the planning board will release lot once to the point of a binder coat being laid, or roughly 80%. And then you would give us a list of the remaining 20% of what you have to spend to finish the project. And then you come back and we release that money as you go. Then when you're finished, we hold 10%, I think.
Yeah.
For a year, or unless the town approves the road.
Yeah.
That makes sense? That's,
I think that works for me.
Sounds good.
Work for you, Rick?
Yes.
Any other changes? Do we have to vote separately on the waivers?
No, actually,
Oh.
I was copied on an email today regarding, from the conservation, regarding an easement, from the, well, I guess the parking lot into the proposed solar, parcel. Which is something we'd be seeking from a conservation perspective. So, I can't remember, I know Concom talked about it with the applicant. I don't know, that we talked with them about it.
Right.
a question, does we have our reviews, is it all conditions of the conservation community?
Actually,
Yeah.
it does not currently say that.
It should say, well, yeah,
That's what I was gonna
conservation
say.
doesn't approve it, we don't either. So is that something we can, but just say the all conditions?
So I guess is it appropriate to consider putting it in this
Right.
document?
So-
Or, but it may be just as appropriate to wait until we permit the solar facility, because the intent is to be able to have a trail around the solar
Right.
field.
Yeah.
And have access to it from the parking lot,
Mhm.
the street, so.
Does it, I guess it does, it makes sense to put it in the one for the solar field probably.
That's what I.
But I do agree that there should be, I mean, usually we have a subject to the following conditions, all of the,
Board of Health.
Board of- yeah, all of-
Conservation, DPW, fire and police all have to weigh in, and if they don't approve it, we're not supposed to either.
Yeah.
Safety or two.
and see it, that's.
No, I guess I was hallucinating.
But I don't know if that's understood.
Grace always put it in.
I
I
mean,
mean.
Where does it hurt now?
Ouch.
Yeah, roll for it.
All right, anything else that we need to? Back to my first question is, do we vote the waivers separately?
That's up to the board.
I think we
mean,
have in the
I
past.
think it'd be appropriate to take them separately if you'd like, but you can
Mhm.
do it all in one motion.
All the waivers in one and then the permit in one?
You can do it, I mean, again, it's however the board would prefer to do it, but you can. It would make sense to vote on the waivers as discussed and as presented.
Yeah. So do I have a motion on the waivers?
The waivers are 1 through 4.
1 through 17. Oh.
I mean, with the noted changes that,
That came
Joe,
today
yeah.
in the mail.
yeah, and again, those aren't approvals of, that isn't adding any new waivers to that list, it's just basically crossing T's, dotting I's.
Number 13 is, I would have a question of streetlights. We only ask you for the design to be put on the plan, should they be put in. So they will have to be shown on the plan the selectmen would tell you whether they actually put them in and turn them on, which they won't. They don't want them on. But I believe that you will have to at least show what light would be used if it was there, you know, how it should, how it doesn't sign. I think that we do need that as well. So I'm not so sure we can waive street light because it's just the design. Planning boards is just the design on the street light, so we probably should get that. Is that all right? Does that make sense? What type of light you would use? Is it, there'd be one or two, you know, one on the street corner or something, and then you'd have to go to the selectmen to see if they actually had to be built.
Yeah, because we don't actually make the decision on the streetlights.
But it would save us,
Because we could say, you don't have to give us the design, but they could say, you still have to give us the streetlights.
Only the design.
See, we explain this to people here. Yeah, we need to get design for streetlights are never gonna be built, never gonna be required, but we need them.
but they may have someone on the street one.
Yeah, they must, there's actually one, so.
If we know what type to put in there.
I'm walking the dog and I can't see what I'm going.
That's why.
You wear a headlight. My street doesn't have any street.
Okay.
Through the chair, can I ask clarifying
Mhm.
questions of the applicants, which is the request for waiver for streetlights? Sean, can you just refresh mine and the board's memory? Was that from providing any and all streetlights, or was there, okay, so that
Yeah.
was from all? I think I was confusing it with another one where it was like, something was conflicting on the plan where we couldn't, oh, that was the street trees. You couldn't locate a particular street tree somewhere because of the location of something else.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
the street light is actually not our call. We only look at the design and it's the selectmen that issue the street light requirement. And they don't because they don't want to pay the bill. So it's,
But it helps us with what wattage you would use, what direction, what type of lighting you would use, and it helps us understand what you would put in there.
Mm-hmm, okay.
I would move that we approve the waivers 1 through 12 and 14 through 17.
Second,
okay. Got a motion and a second for waivers 1 through 12 and 14 through 17. All in favor? All opposed? Okay. And then do I have a waiver on issuing the permit? Do I have a motion on issuing the permit? Mhm.
I would move that we approve the subdivision as written on the certificate of approval
when we do it as amended, because we made some changes.
or as amended,
Mhm.
subject to final approval from the pertinent town boards.
Do I have a second?
Okay.
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Okay. All right.
Great. Well,
We're
thank you
all
very
up.
much, all.
Thank you
That was
very
easy.
much.
Thank you.
Happy
Sean,
holidays.
You
Yeah.
too.
Happy
Sean and
holidays.
Rick, before you sign off, can you just follow with an email, just get us an extension to get this document filed with the town clerks by the end of this week?
I love when there's a bunch of
Sounds
paragraphs.
good. Yes.
Thank you.
You gonna take care of that, Rick?
Yes. Sounds good. I'll
Okay.
take care of
All right,
Appreciate it.
great.
it.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you all.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You too.
it was about a year from when they first came. Well, so went to town meeting.
Yeah, it takes less than 6 months.
No, I,
No, they have to, go, but theirs did have to go to town meeting.
yeah, no, I mean, there's been a
Yeah.
lot that happened. I think that's good. Good job, folks.
Okay, moving along, we need to open the public hearing for 0 Milford Street and.
You don't need to open that. That was just,
We're just gonna announce a continuation.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to continue the public hearing for 0 Milford Street to January 14th.
You need a motion for that?
Yeah, because it's continued.
was it continued to this date originally?
I think so.
I'm sorry.
So
Yeah,
I
you
think
might,
we did need to open this.
yeah,
one
you
to
might want to
continue.
open it. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So we need to suspend the meeting and open the public hearing for 0 Mildred Street. Do I have a motion to continue this public hearing to January 14th?
So moved.
I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, we're going to now suspend that public hearing and reopen our regular scheduled meeting. We are going to announce that the correct date for special permit for Zero Mendon Street is January 14th, and the site plan for 236 Milford Street is also January 14th.
And I had already reached out to both of them.
Okay.
Confirmed that that's when, yeah.
All right. So now we are all the way to other topics not reasonably anticipated by the chair 48 hours in advance. Okay, I have none. Anyone else have any? Okay. Small cell wireless regulations, next steps.
It's just, now that we're beyond, do you just want to like schedule a time to talk? I mean, I didn't intend to have the I printed them out just for your
Yeah.
reference, but I didn't intend to have an actual conversation about them tonight. What do you want to do? Do you want?
Yeah, let's schedule a time for it, not on January
Just
14th.
yeah, just have to do a
So-
parking changes, that's discussion. Did you skip over the site plan for the parking lot?
What's this plan for the parking?
No, we actually moved that. That's the correct date, January.
January 14th.
Oh,
We
yes.
moved it to January
Oh,
14th.
I thought we moved the one ahead of.
There's both.
Same time.
We did both.
We're moving fast.
GFC.
I can't write fast enough.
But all we saved, Kevin, now what?
She was never the sharpest, she was the dean.
Oh.
You are relaxed.
Did you hire anybody yet? Made my note taking a lot easier.
All right. So we'll maybe think about late January or the first meeting in February for this.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
The
We
28th.
should hire Brian.
I'm trying to be good at it.
Are we gonna accept the master plan at all, any part of it,
What's that?
master plan?
What about it?
Are we gonna update any section of it in 2025? We should update at least something.
We have a responsibility to
Yes.
create one from time to time.
The,
Yeah, but we've been creating parts of it though.
the town manager did just inquire with me today whether or not there was an interest in.
There isn't, we got a way out of it because there's some people in the town that have been working on elements of it.
Mhm.
We can take full credit for that.
You already have the housing section done.
We can incorporate into the housing section of 25, all the stuff that's been going on with housing. We've done some of it, but there's a lot of people doing more.
No, yeah, I understand we can take everybody else's work and slap it together.
Right, but we do need to take everyone's work and slap.
But there's sections that we could just, I don't know, we can look at the whole thing, right? We looked at mostly sports and things last time, right?
Yeah,
All kinds of recreation.
Yeah, so I
big
think
part of it.
if the rec committee has been. I don't
They
know.
do have a plan, don't they?
They had a
It's not that old, and we
No.
No.
almost recently finished an open space and
Right.
recreation plan.
We didn't do it, but we should be incorporating into
Yeah.
the master plan those things that other people. are at.
Absolutely.
And the conservation as well, but the rec has done some improvements to town beach projects. We've done some stuff there since the plan's been done.
Mhm.
Those could all be put in.
It's been 20 years. There's a 2005 I saw in the.
Yeah,
If we do one, do we need to put together a committee like we did for the housing production one?
yes, we would need to put together a committee. We had a consultant last time too. I don't know, but I was doing grants for.
I was gonna say, I think we need a consultant.
Yeah, so we would need a grant.
I think we should move ahead with it.
Yeah, I
I mean,
do
we
too.
do have the pieces, and as we're having the conversation here, I think the housing production plan has a shelf life, but it's supposed to be 5 years. So if we don't do it, and that was passed
Right,
over a year ago,
Yeah.
approved over a year ago. So if we don't get something in this year, the housing production plan alone, which I think is one of the newer ones,
yeah.
is gonna be close to being obsolete.
So,
Well, if we could sweet talk the members that are on that committee that have done all that work to be part of the master. plan.
yeah, so
Yeah.
maybe what we should do is think about the master planning committee, get the board of selectmen probably has to call for members.
Yeah.
But we should probably think, we want someone from rec, we want someone from open space, we want someone from housing, the housing group. We probably want someone from the economic development, yeah, I think,
We want someone from finance committee, is that traditional?
In the master plan, we don't do a lot of that.
I'm wondering if maybe it's not an appropriate application for the One Stop for Growth come June 1st, but I'll certainly look to see if it's something I can apply. for that grant round.
Right.
Well, there is a financial thing to it because we don't want to outgrow our resources and our ability to service.
Oh, yes, we also don't wanna, I mean, talking to someone who never saw a piece of open space they didn't want to keep open. We do have to make sure that we do generate enough housing to keep.
Well, this ADU is gonna help people that really need it. That's affordable housing.
But that's not gonna be huge.
No, rezoning parts of the town, 10,000 to 15,000, our smallest zone are A.
Yeah.
If we could look at what's 40, 60, and 80 now, and possibly make those into 15, now you could get 3 times the, it'd be close around. And also you'd be able to, and they'd be cheaper houses, because you'd be 300 acres instead of 1.
So
Just a thought.
does what was it called, the center development, this group, are they now all mixed into the
Business district.
the business district? Yeah. Does
That's it
that
again.
still exist, the central business district committee, does it still exist?
Committee?
It was like,
I thought it was EDC.
it wasn't just EDC, I thought there was a
Yeah.
separate committee for a while, but maybe it's just EDC.
No, EDC was leading the charge on that
Okay.
because they had hired Dodson Flinker
Yeah.
to do the revisioning
Yeah.
plan for the center.
Mhm.
And that was a result of
Right.
that visioning process.
It's just about every committee begin with a C.
Okay, let's see.
What,
Let's see.
oh, the what, EDC? That doesn't go with
The
the city.
CDC.
So is there anyone else that we're not thinking of?
Economic
Do
development.
we need like Board of Health or anyone like that?
For a master
I think
plan, that
we
would
need
be
to
sewer.
disability.
For the Board of Health's involvement, for the planning board, it would be
Sewer,
where sewer.
where's water value?
Uh,
And I also don't think it hurts, I just mouthed it to Margaret, is to have the disabilities committee. Because if we overlook that, it's gonna come back and bite us.
Anything we're gonna get sued for.
And we're gonna have to fix it like we did at the community center, because it wasn't. I mean, that's detailed stuff, but still,
Yeah.
it's just as
And-
important to
Every time,
bring it front and center.
every time I go to the community center, I have to do this. Because when the VFW gets sold or whatever, and it becomes a nice restaurant, whatever it becomes, and they have to close that entrance because trucks getting in there, it's a business, that's parking, you'll still be able to get the 16 parking spaces that are dedicated to community center, but that's gonna be shut off.
Hmm.
And it's a site, own site. If you look at the other one, if you come in from the Milford side, you come in, you take your right, there's an arrow. You follow your right, look up, and it says one way, you can't go to your right. But the arrow said to go this way, now you can't go that. So it needs to have an exit and an entrance for each site, and it doesn't.
Mm.
And it just kills me.
Well, anyway, we're not gonna fix that tonight,
So
so.
we approved it. And if they came back to us and said, sign the final thing, we'd have to say, you need to wait.
All right. Anyone else that should be on the master plan, that should be represented on the map?
Feels good.
Personally, Conservation Commission.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking open space, but
Right.
open space and Concom.
Or one member who serves on the board.
How is our open space subdivision? Have you looked at that at all? See if anything we can change on that or this? Any
You
improvements to
could
that?
probably use.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
Mike's on the line. I think he has some ideas about that.
yeah, there's,
I was writing things down. What?
No, Mike.
Oh.
Changes to the open space.
well, but I think that could come as part of
Yeah,
this
yeah,
discussion.
sure.
We don't have to actually go over it tonight.
No. Mike
Yes.
has mentioned to me a couple of times he has some ideas. so.
Yeah, good. Other, I'm just trying to think if there's, it doesn't matter, we'll think of others, dropping it down the line.
No, I mean, I'll follow up with town manager that there is interest in
Yeah.
getting going on it sooner
Okay.
than anticipated, so.
I have a stupid question. Is there any, value to having, I mean, besides the obvious, to having an up-to-date master plan? I know with the housing production plan, you needed it to,
Right.
but with the master plan, is there any real value?
The value that it serves is really grant funding.
Okay, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
And what was it, green, do we have a green communities committee,
We do.
still? They should be on there.
You know,
Bill.
I was gonna say, if we have Bill
We have
on,
Bill.
we'll have like 4 meetings.
And
You know,
Bill, and maybe we should have Bill?
Yeah.
Maybe Bill.
Way back when we used the master plan for things that we're gonna get sued for, that we needed to reinforce that that's the town law.
Yeah,
We don't do that anymore, but then we used to use that for some recourse or ammunition if we got sued. It's in the master plan, we're just following.
well, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's another justification. It's, it's an opportunity to, with the land use section is to potentially address some of those issues.
And they expect, they know what to expect when they come in and they read the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a basis. Yeah, again, it's also a basis, really, Tom, this is what you're saying, but it's another way of saying it's a basis for this board to make the decisions that you make, right? So if you're, especially with special permits that are very much discretionary.
But it's tough to prove that it's not in the, if it's not in the best interest of the town, but in the master plan, that that's in the best interest of the
Yeah.
town for you to do that.
Yes.
No, I think it's great to get a start on that.
All right,
And where do we stand?
and I'm only chair until halfway through the year, so it's someone else's problem.
Ken, I think Ken's up there.
Ready?
Or Bill. Bill hasn't been chair yet, he's been on.
Ken
You-
has.
Oh, you've been on longer than Bill has.
Yeah.
No, I haven't.
Is this the Bill?
It's because Paul left.
It's all Paul's fault. And as far as the zoning map goes,
Mhm.
we approved that last meeting, correct? I think we
The,
approved the CPC.
The use of the
Yeah, go ahead.
CMRPC.
Yeah.
So they've, did I not send that out?
Yeah, it's already done.
Okay.
Yeah, it's done. I'll send that out. I'm just,
And when are we gonna get the new map by? How long is it gonna?
I'm
take?
sorry.
When is the new map? How long should that process take?
The new map is already available.
It's done.
It's done, yeah. So I'll send that out. He
And
did
how
it
much did it cost us?
like 1 hour of their time.
Oh, wow.
So, but I'm waiting until the AG, formally approves everything at town meeting
Okay.
before I get that, recorded at town clerk's office to be the new formal
Okay.
zoning map
Hope there's no partials like last time.
parcels.
They have approved one. Like, do you remember last year, they have approved one?
What?
Half approved one of the articles.
Oh, yeah, and then they held on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. If anything, it'd probably be, I don't know. They held on to the inclusionary zoning one. I have to imagine they'd have particular interest in the MBTA zoning ones.
Yep.
They might take a while on that. But then again, they know that towns are, if you adopted it, they'd probably want to give it to you.
I was gonna say,
Right, 'cause
because they're
they're-
gonna do it expeditiously before someone changes their.
Yeah.
mind. Yeah. Because that's what's happened in other towns. But
Mhm.
You got one blood in the hands already, huh?
fingers are crossed.
All right, anything else?
So what about the rain tomorrow? No. Hey, I came out to this meeting, I watched.
Is the vet's properties gonna be sold?
No, I'm just saying, as a planning board, we have to plan for things to not stay the
Oh.
same.
They were good rent for that.
A little head, every time I drive by it, I see a nice little community park there, like I see it like in Grafton, when I go up to Grafton.
Yeah.
Center with the gazebo and stuff, and I keep saying, well, if we could just find a nice place for the vets to,
I put them on the other side of the, next to it, the thing is,
next to Marshall's.
take the VFW and give them a nice free place on the other side, nice free parking and have, have a bridge going across.
Yeah, that's kind of the vision I had, just kind
Yeah,
of.
but they got that brick thing out front now.
brick thing.
They have bricks honoring people. My dad's name is on it. You bought a brick. And it's where the flagpole is.
Yeah.
Around it. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
So who actually owns this building?
Should you ask him comments
I
from
think the
the
VFW owns it.
people on-
No,
Or is it our
Yes,
national?
miss.
Is there a solution one?
I think it is owned because they get rent they rent out.
They rent it.
I think it is the one.
But I think the American.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the VFW.
I think it's the American
Okay.
Legion. I think.
Not disturb that then,
Were you-
like a little park around it?
Or you could always incorporate it.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If there's nothing else, anything from anyone online, Mike or Lori? Okay,
No, thank you.
All right, we have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?